An exclusive production of the West Windsor Plainsboro Advanced Broadcasting Program, you're watching WWPH TV.
When you're tired of the same old routine, and you try to change things up, you might meet the wrong kind of people and make the wrong choices. The consequences are real. You might just end up alone.
Hello, I'm Kevin Cloys, and this is the Truth Serum. We now take a look at a life-threatening sickness with a large impact on the community. WWP residents consistently raise awareness and money to hopefully find a cure for cancer. Even local clubs and sports teams hold fundraisers to help the cause. West Windsor Plainsboro High School South and North volleyball and cheerleading teams are among those who have joined the fight against cancer. WWPH TV reporter Brianne Sabino gives us an inside look at how our very own West Windsor Plainsboro High School students are putting aside their rivalries to raise money for the cure.
In 2009, cancer was responsible for 13% of all deaths worldwide. In 2010, 1.48 million people were diagnosed with new cases of cancer. In 2011, that number rose to 2 million. Every year, the numbers continue to rise, with no apparent cure in sight, and yet hope continues to build. Throughout the world, people are coming together to raise money for cancer research. And that spirit has reached West Windsor Plainsboro high schools, where the students are joining in the fight for the cure, and they're doing it with unity. Ever since these crosstown schools became rivals in 1997, competitions between the two have been filled with competitive camaraderie. Now, the Pirates and Knights are putting aside their rivalry and working together to fight against the disease that has affected so many lives. Each school hosts an annual event to raise money for cancer research foundations. The WWP High School South girls volleyball team started Serve Up Hope in 2009. It is a popular event with activities, raffles, and food that centers around a North vs. South volleyball match. Following in their footsteps, the South cheerleading squad began Cheer for the Cure in 2010. The event consists of a pink-out North vs. South football game where everyone, from teachers to students, dresses in pink. Both the cheerleading coach, Lisa Savis, and the volleyball coach, Mike Adams, got the idea for a charity event from attending similar events at other schools. At first, both schools raised money for breast cancer research that was donated to the Susan G. Komen for the Cure Foundation. After a few years, volleyball coach Michael Adams decided that he would make a change. He thought it might be best to focus on more local causes. In 2011, the Serve Up Hope profits went towards helping the family of a well-known name in New Jersey sports. Wayne and Denise Gant started a popular beach volleyball program in New Jersey called Great American Volleyball. Denise was later diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer. All proceeds from the event went to her for treatment. And Coach Adams says it means more to donate directly to a family in need than to a large organization. After choosing a charity, the hard work begins. Both Adams and Savis agree the event cannot be successful without a tremendous amount of preparation. Such a time-consuming job cannot be completed without a team effort. Coach Adams says the majority of the work and organization for the volleyball fundraiser is done by the players.
I think as soon as the players take ownership and they realize what they're doing and what it's for, they take it more serious and they put more time into it than I probably would have. And they actually do a much better job, and having more people, literally you can get more things done and in a sense raise more money, which you're getting better at every year, and we're making more money every year for somebody.
The students on both teams welcome the challenge and do not see it as just another obligation to their sport. In fact, Coach Savis says the cheerleaders don't really see it as work at all.
We took a real passion to it. They grasped it, and it's really, we didn't even ask them this year, is it something you want to do? It was, when are we going to do it? You know, they really wanted to get involved. And that's something I always strive for these girls to do, is become role models in the school. And I think they're starting to take on that role now, that they're really saying, like, wow, we can really make a difference. And I think it's very important.
It all starts out with the teams organizing and selling custom t-shirts and other merchandise. The cheerleaders sell things like bracelets, cupcakes, and cookies. Both teams have to take on the challenge of collecting donations. The girls continue by putting up decorations throughout the halls of the school. During the weeks before the events, previously dull green stairwells are glimmering with purple streamers, and the hallways are doused with pink ribbons. After the decorations are taken care of, the teams are in charge of publicizing and making sure they can pack the house for the actual night of the event. Adams says when the day of the game finally arrives, there are tons of details to get into place.
Anytime we have a timeout or in between games during the sets, we also have fun activities for the fans. So they'll have people lined up to come down and do an activity, on the court during the minute timeout, or in between games when they have the 3 minutes. They'll do a serving game. They do one where they stuff a bunch of marshmallows in their face, Chubby Bunny or something, I think it's called. What else? They do a dancing competition, which is always entertaining. So there's a bunch of different stuff they came up with, which is a lot of fun.
As fans flood the gym for the North-South rivalry volleyball game, all of the hard work for charity begins to pay off. Similarly, the packed house at the Pink Out Pirate Night football game lets the cheerleaders know the fundraiser is a success. South-North games are well known for their intense rivalry as crosstown high schools. Normally, the day is characterized by opposition towards the other school. Coach Savis says the two schools put aside their differences for a day to come together as a community and support cancer research. The events have been a huge success in past years. Both teams raised over $3,000 in 2011 for their individual charities. But money is just a small part of the story. Participants hope they have an even greater impact in the fight against cancer. If teams from rival high schools can show unity for the cause, imagine what whole communities can accomplish. Or, as Coach Savis says, the most lasting effect of Serve Up Hope and Cheer for the Cure might just be that it opens everyone's eyes to what's possible.
We're out there helping people, and that's what we want to do. We want to make it known that we're helping people out there.
This has been Brianne Sabino for WWPH TV.
It's an area where an immense amount of people are suffering. You hear that this is the first time in history where the United States has declared it a genocide and yet not taken any real action to stop it. In terms of that, it's very easy, because if you hear about that, of course you're not going to be okay with it. It's human life. How much more of an interest do you need?
Allie Gideon speaking for STAND, working to make this a better world. A message from WWPH TV.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Cloyes, and you're watching The Truth Serum. The National School Lunch Program feeds more than 31 million students every day. The Windsor Plainsboro High School system alone provides for over 3,000 students. Children throughout the district have the option of choosing from a variety of foods such as burgers and bagels. WWPH TV reporter Jesse Yu takes us inside the daily food and cafeteria process at West Windsor Plainsboro High School South.
School lunch, an American pastime full of legend and lore. The stories range from mystery meatloaf to bouncing chicken nuggets. School lunch, a favorite punchline for Hollywood directors and comedians. Adam Sandler even devoted a Saturday Night Live parody to the topic in a song called Lunch Lady. School lunch, a common source of angst for generations of school children through the ages. But nowadays, a local school is doing its part to stamp out the jokes and the complaints. At West Windsor Plainsboro High School South, food officials aim to make sure those common stereotypes play no part in the 40 minutes of lunch served every day. Instead, they try to provide a unique dining experience, starting with a variety of offerings. Students have a choice of 4 different food stations around the school from which to choose their meals. There's a deli section, a pasta and pizza section, a grill station, a snack station, and a daily lunch area where the entree changes every day. Of course, the wide variety of food doesn't just create itself. The challenge of serving over 1,500 hungry mouths is no one-person job. West Windsor Plainsboro School District Food Service Manager Doreen Pearson says preparation begins many hours prior to the lunch serving.
Employees start coming in anywhere from 6:30 in the morning, and they're usually done at the high schools by 1 o'clock. So what they start 6:30, usually their head cook comes in and your manager comes in, and they start prepping things like we make homemade pizzas, so the pizza doughs have to be panned out so they can rise, the fresh pizza dough. Anything that takes a long time, they have to get that in the oven. Cooking, if we cook a lot of chicken or a roasted turkey breast or anything like that, they have to be done. A lot of stuff is done a day ahead of time because they don't have to be sliced the next day.
Part of the process includes figuring out how many mouths need to be fed each day and with what kind of food. It is a careful balancing act until patterns begin to develop.
Sometimes when you try a new item, you may run out of it, but if we made 150, then the next time we'll up it to 200. We'll make notes in the production records that we had 0 left or we ran out. We'll actually put that we ran out, especially on new items. But pizza, they probably make 15 to 18 here a day, depending on, they start knowing, the leads at the school and the cooks at the school start realizing what are the kids buying mostly.
I guess what I would order from school would be pasta because it's the easiest to get and it tastes good.
I get deli because it's definitely the healthiest choice.
I buy lunch every day, and usually I go to the pasta line or I go to the sandwich line because they have usually the most amount of food.
Another concern with school lunch is its nutrition. Images of greasy sloppy joes and fatty chocolate milk are cliche in teen Nickelodeon TV shows, but are non-existent at High School South. Pearson says the school follows state regulations to cut out unhealthy meal choices.
The lunch, as far as it goes, we do analyze the lunch menu. We have a program in my office I analyze it just to look over percentages of fat. There are no exact guidelines actually on the full lunch itself, but we do analyze because everybody takes. It's hard to, especially in a high school with all the different offerings, it's hard to analyze certain things what they're taking.
Another reason why West Windsor Plainsboro High School South goes above and beyond when it comes to school lunch is its dedication to providing local products. By purchasing supplies from local suppliers, the food spends less time traveling, is more fresh, and contains more nutrients as food begins losing vitamins right after being picked. The only downside to providing fresh, high-quality goods is the price. This is why South's lunch cost is higher than the national average, which is roughly $2.
Well, in West Windsor Plainsboro, believe it or not, we run a very high food cost. Some of the big management companies prefer you not to offer they want you to offer fresh produce, but maybe just like salads once a day. Well, we don't feel, that's not what we want to offer here.
Despite the higher costs, it is difficult to find lunch of the same quality outside of High School South at the same or lower price. Pearson says it is important to recognize exactly what a school lunch encompasses.
I think we're, doing a pretty good job for school lunch. And plus the cost of a school lunch really is a bargain. When you go to bag your own, if you bag out for your own child a water or a sandwich, a piece of fruit, a snack, it's going to cost you $2 and something just to bag it at home. So really it's not a bad deal for $2.65. And the other thing is I think students don't realize, even in high school, what's included. Every main lunch includes a main entree, a fruit, a vegetable, a bread, and a milk or a little 4-ounce juice, or they could take the milk and the 4-ounce juice. I know most students want the bigger drinks, and I get a lot of parents calling me that, but I think a lot of them are missing out not taking the full meal because that's where your bargain is in.
Lunch at West Windsor Plainsboro High School South is an everyday ritual kept fresh by the men and women working in the back. It's a group of dedicated individuals whose day-to-day goal is to provide the best possible lunch. Perhaps that is why the stories of bouncing chicken nuggets and mystery meatloaf don't apply here. Instead, the only items being served are fresh pizzas, steaming pasta, and homemade meals. For WWPH TV, I'm Jesse Yu.
West Windsor Plainsboro students and faculty consistently strive to better the community and schools through both fundraisers for the fight against cancer and the lunch program at the high schools. And with that, the truth serum has run out. This has been Kevin Cloys for WWPH TV.
Hi, I'm Stephen Conowitz.
And I'm Varsha Sundararaman.
And welcome to Tales from Grover's Mill. This episode of WWPH TV's movie show highlights the contrast between innocence and corruption. Our first two films convey the causes of loving bonds and broken ones in a world filled with pain and dishonesty.
Our first movie focuses on the dishonest policies often found in government. It reveals the harmful effects of unethical politics in society. This is Tim O'Connor's Politician. Let's take a look.
had situations where we've had parts break, we've left something in my garage that we should have brought with us, and the other team step up and give it to you. We have a word for it. In FIRST, it's cooperation, which is competition and cooperation put together. So we made up a word, because that's what it is. We're cooperating with one another while we're competing with them. And that's something that you don't see. You know, you don't see people running across the field during a football game and helping the other side. But in FIRST Robotics, you see it all the time.
Welcome back to WWPH TV's Tales from Grover's Mill.
The last movie that you saw portrayed the effect of dirty politics on friendship.
The next Evan Weston directed short follows the innocent play of a few kids, until things get too serious. Notice how fun can get corrupted when the jokes go too far. Here's WWPH TV's The Barn.
From a studio in Princeton Junction, hidden in High School South, comes a station run entirely by students, bring you news, sports, weather, and a whole lot of entertainment. From your hometown, bringing you what you need to know. 107.9 FM, WWPH in Princeton Junction.
And that's Tales from Grover's Mill. Tune in next time for more movies themed to the connection between innocence and corruption. I'm Varsha Sundararaman.
And I'm Stephen Conowitz. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on WWPH TV.
From the West Windsor Plainsboro High School studios, it's Sneak Peek, the TV show that lets viewers sample the type of programming featured on the district's own student-run radio station, 107.9 FM.
Welcome to 107.9 FM WWPH in Princeton Junction. I'm Brianne Savino.
And I'm Jesse Yu. Later on in our show, we will be joined by Tiffany Arena.
And later on, we also have some goodies for you. We're going to tell you about some of the best and biggest roller coasters in the country.
Ooh, scary. And then maybe you're thinking about taking a dip in the pool. That's what they do at West Windsor Plainsboro High School, North and South. Some controversy over that.
That's what I hear. But first, we're just going to get a look into some local ice creameries in our area.
Everything West Windsor Plainsboro. Right here, right now. This is your 107.9 FM look at the community.
All right, so ice creameries, ice cream parlors, whatever you want to call it.
So many names.
There's such an abundance in this area. West Windsor, Plainsboro, Princeton. You've got your frozen yogurt places, Twist.
Your froyo, if you will.
Twist, fruity yogurt, red berry. I mean, so many options. And then you got your regular ice cream. I like Halo Pub. They have one in Princeton, have one in Hamilton.
I like Thomas Sweets in Princeton. They have I don't know, it's cute, and they have the nice paintings on the walls and stuff like that. It's always fun to go in there.
They also have that weird distorted mirror.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
Don't forget about Ben Spoon. They have some of the greatest sorbets, and
I feel it is overrated, but that's my personal opinion.
All right, but one time actually when I went to fruity yogurt, I had an eating competition with my friends because it's self-serve.
That's what you do. You know what? I like the sound of a competition right now. You know what? We're gonna get Tiffany in here and let's do some game break.
Game break.
Alright, so we're going to start off with some characters' sayings, maybe things that they're known for. First one, long nose when lying.
Pinocchio.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah, I don't know.
Yep, it's Pinocchio. The second one, dog named after a former planet.
Pluto.
Yep, alright, tie game right now. What's up, Doc?
Bugs Bunny.
Oh, took the lead on that one. Alright, Jesse's up by 1 point. Next, it's a saying now. Good grief.
Charlie Brown. Obviously.
I did not know Charlie Brown even talked.
Well, he did. The parents are like, wah, wah,
he does all the time, actually. Next one, street boy in love with princess.
Aladdin.
Oh.
I said it first.
I'm gonna give it to both of you. Next one, never grows up.
Peter Pan.
Rugrats.
The Rugrats did grow up, and it's Peter Pan. So
is he all grown up?
Brienne is up by 1 point. The next one, an underwater land mammal.
Underwater land. Sponge. No, Sandy the squirrel.
Whoa, tie game again. All right, maybe we'll see what happens with this. A white duck with a sailor hat.
Daffy.
Donald.
It's Donald. Gotta give it to Brienne.
So many ducks.
Up by 1. Next one, a cowardly dog solving mysteries.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
No, it's Scooby-Doo.
I have to give it to Brienne because she got the song in there.
Oh my God.
Dedication.
Up by 2, Jesse. What's going on right now? Another one is an electric mouse.
An electric mouse?
Tom.
A Furby.
Tom and or Jerry. Furby.
It's actually Pikachu, so
that's cheap. I didn't know it was a
something to
mouse.
keep in mind. And maybe your last one for the day, a green pointy-eared character.
The Grinch.
I have no idea.
It's actually Yoda. So, Brian wins this round again, and that's been your game break on 107.9 FM WWPH in Princeton Junction.
The South, united with the North. West Windsor, Plainsboro High School Radio, 107.9 FM.
West Windsor Plainsboro High School students, bringing the school to you. 107.9 inside the district.
So here in West Windsor Plainsboro, at both high schools, in gym class, we do have a swimming unit, and a lot of people kind of are, on the fence about it.
Yeah, people are a little skeptical about it. I feel, I have the girl perspective. From talking to a lot of girls, I think the problem is that they give people 20 minutes in between, like right after you swim and in the beginning to change and shower off and stuff, and I think the girls are just like, oh, but I have to do my makeup and my hair, and I need to dry it, and I don't have time. But it's like, it's different than when, you're getting ready in the morning. You don't need to do that. Just put your hair in a bun, dry off, you're good.
All right, honestly, as a girl, I don't understand how 20 minutes is not a reasonable time. Because, or for girls, not as a girl. Because as a guy, 20 minutes is the time I take to get out of my bed, get my outfit and everything, get ready for school. But, I guess you could say the whole hair dry thing. My hair's short, so
exactly.
quickly.
I just wanted to point out the differences between the length of our hair first, because that is kind of a difference.
No, but I mean, swimming is fun because a lot of times you're going through a long day. It's just like it wakes you up, and if it's the first thing in the morning, you're woken up for the rest of the day. But I do see the chlorine smell for the rest of the day is kind of annoying.
No, but I agree with you. I think it's fun, and I like when they bring out beach balls and stuff, so people can play volleyball in the water, and they bring out those little flippy fin things for you to swim with, and the diving board, and it's really springy. And some people do really cool backflips and stuff off the board.
Yeah, and then towards the end of the year, when the weather gets really hot, the gym teachers sometimes give you an option to go in and swim instead, and that's always a huge relief when it's hot outside.
Yeah, I really like that, especially it's like a relief from the day.
Yeah, but the swimming debate is a hot topic here at Windsor, Plainsboro, but there are a lot of other controversial issues in the world. So let's head over some viewpoints. Come on, Tiffany, it is time.
107.9 FM Viewpoints.
All right, this segment on the Great 108 features mini debates on current issues. First topic. The West Windsor Plainsboro School District granted access to YouTube on computers during the 2011 to 2012 year.
I think this is great. I mean, students, their only materials right now are kind of like textbooks, whatever they have, but by giving them access to the internet, they have so many more ways of learning.
I understand that, but if the students aren't using the internet as a resource like YouTube, what if they're using YouTube to watch prank videos and comedy videos? That's not really educational.
You can't assume every student is watching comedy videos, and some people, yeah, they are distracted during class, but YouTube isn't the only place that they're going to get distracted.
Second topic, with medical marijuana available in an increasing number of states, the government is debating whether or not to legalize the drug throughout the nation.
This topic has been discussed over and over again, and honestly, I think they should just legalize it already. There's so many states that let you use medical marijuana, and besides, alcohol was banned before. Now alcohol is legal. Marijuana is banned right now. They gotta make it legal.
These are two completely separate topics. You can't even relate those at all. And I think if you legalize marijuana, you're gonna spark curiosity, and there's gonna be a big problem, especially with young people.
You're gonna spark curiosity, but then it's gonna die down. I mean, there's curiosity in everything. For me personally, I think if they legalize marijuana, it's gonna cut down on crime rates. It's gonna cut down on gang violence. I think it's a win-win for every side.
And last topic, big box companies such as Walmart have become more popular throughout the USA and even internationally, but many people believe they hurt more than they help the country.
I agree. I think that, or I disagree actually. I don't think that these companies are hurting the country. They're providing more cheap resources for people and consumers.
You know why they're cheap? Because they treat their workers poorly, and that is not okay. You shouldn't go there to support them when you could be supporting local businesses that aren't treating their workers poorly.
Obviously local businesses are good, but you don't want to have to go to 3-4 shops to get what you need. You want to go to one place, get a good deal on your items, and get it all at once.
And this concludes our segment of mini debates on current issues on 107.9 FM WWPH in Princeton Junction.
West Windsor Plainsboro High School Radio, the voices of the future, on the air today. 107.9 FM.
From the preparatory stages to the finished product, students taking the Culinary Arts elective at High School North learn a valuable life skill that will last them a lifetime.
WWPH, Princeton Junction.
Pirate Radio, Night Radio, 107.9 FM, The Flash.
Hello, this is Tiffany Reyna with the 107.9 FM School and Community Flash. Princeton Junction residents can purchase fresh produce from local vendors. The farmers market will take place on Saturdays during spring and summer seasons near the train station. A new immersion program is allowing for Mercer County Community College students to extend their education. The school is offering study abroad opportunities to nations in Europe, Central America, and Africa. Princeton University hosts several free film screenings through a varying schedule. The College Art Museum shows a variety of independent and mainstream movies. West Windsor Plainsboro students and parents can keep track of school grades from smartphones. The Infinite Campus iPhone application allows for assignment monitoring for each marking period. Parents and community members have the opportunity to follow changes in the WWP district. The Board of Education will hold various public informational meetings throughout the year. WWP elementary students can apply for higher level math courses by testing for the Accelerated and Enriched program. This has been Tiffany Reyna with your 107.9 FM School and Community Flash.
Last on the dial, first in your heart, 107.9 FM.
And welcome back to 107.9 FM WWPH in Princeton Junction. For all you daredevils out there, big, bad, scary roller coasters in America.
There's maybe not so big and bad. You know, you think about Disney, that's not really like, that's magic. There's Mickey Mouse everywhere. It's not like big and bad. But you know, probably my favorite roller coaster there is Expedition Everest.
That is very true. Expedition Everest has that cool, going backwards sequence, which is what makes it famous. But talking about Disney, I think one of my favorites there is the Rock and Roller Coaster because it has a super fast launch and you're like in the dark and it's like, you have no idea where you're going.
I mean, yeah, that is really fun, like the launching part. But then, like once you get into the dark, I don't like it that much because I feel like my head's gonna get chopped off because like you can't see anything except lighting up things that are like jutting out and could just chop your head off at any moment. You never see it coming.
Speaking of that fast launch sequence, you have Kingda Ka, which is in our own backyard here at Six Flags Great Adventure, Jersey Pride. It's one of the tallest and fastest rides on the planet. It goes from 0 to 128 miles per hour in like 3 seconds. I personally thought that launch was ridiculously scary, but after that, it was really fun.
But see, it's all kind of a blur to me because when I went on it, I thought like the launch part, my eye sockets were gonna like fall. I don't know, like my eyes were gonna fall out of the sockets, but they didn't, and it was slower than I thought it would be, but it was still really fun. I thought.
Yeah, and I feel like the drop is like the least scary. It's always the launch. But you always see those pictures of people posting pictures of on Facebook of them on rides. I always wonder, how do they do that? I feel like if I did it, I would drop my camera, and that would be a Facebook fail.
Yes, it would be. Which brings us to our laugh track.
Laugh track.
All right, so today we have a list of some Facebook fails for you. So we have a status posted by someone. What is a Kardashian? I hear a lot about these people, but I'm not sure what they are, nor have I ever seen one.
I think that's the majority of the American population, these Kardashians. They sound like an animal in this status. All right, another status. At work, what to do? A comment? Your job?
Nah.
Probably the boss writing that one.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. Another status, if Facebook doesn't stop sending me Farmville requests, I'm calling the police.
Excuse me, 911? Yeah, Farmville keeps sending requests.
It's basically online stalking. That's how I feel about it.
All right, another status. Roses are red, my name is Dave. This poem doesn't make sense. Microwave. And someone wrote, I'm actually afraid of you, Dave.
What?
That's the microwave afraid.
Do Dave and microwave even rhyme? I don't even know if that works. All right.
I have no idea either. But those are some Facebook fails. And when you're posting on a status next time, maybe think about what you're writing before you hit that post button.
WWPH Princeton Junction.
Unfortunately, that just about wraps up our show today. Talked about the best ice cream places here, Ben Spoon, one of them.
Tom Sweets in Princeton. Also, we, Kingda Ka, some roller coasters. Kingda Ka, Expedition Everest, some of the best in the country, I would say.
Go check them out. Six Flags, right in our backyard. I mean, come on. And also talked about swimming. Good or bad, I guess that's up to you to decide.
In gym class.
But once again, that wraps it up for 107.9 FM WPH in Princeton Junction. I'm Jesse Yu.
And I'm Brianne Sabino. Thanks for tuning in.
You've been watching Sneak Peek, a look at the type of programming featured daily on the West Windsor Plainsboro High School student radio station 107.9 FM. Sneak Peek is an exclusive student production from the West Windsor Plainsboro High School TV station WWPH TV.
His passion and love for the sport takes him on adventures like running 2 miles with a Christmas tree. He is known around the district for his coaching skills in both track and field and cross country. Providing instruction to students both in and out of the classroom, Studio 107 features Brian Gold.
Hello and welcome to Studio 107. I'm Jeffrey Yu here with special education teacher and well-known West Windsor Plainsboro North cross-country and track coach Brian Gold. So Mr. Gold, you've experienced success here since 2003, your first season. You went 11-1. How has the squad changed since that year?
It's a lot bigger. The numbers are, we went from about 12 to 15 guys in the first cross-country team out to, at this point in the spring season, between the boys and the girls, we have almost 200 athletes out there competing now.
And what can you attribute to that rise in participation numbers?
I like to believe that it's culture and that the team has become something that everybody wants to be a part of. Certainly as the team grows and athletes bring friends out on the team, that helps a lot. But I think the success and the way that the guys have carried themselves and done things has made this something that people really want to be part of.
Yeah, and I mean, in high school, I know kids are always trying to find their niche. So what has been the most rewarding aspect of coaching at North since 2003? If you can pinpoint one thing or just one general subject.
My favorite part personally of coaching, and the reason I love high school coaching, is seeing the progression of a guy or a girl over 4 years. You know, when they come in as a freshman, maybe they're trying to find, success in a particular area, and in very rare occasion are they great from the beginning. You know, Jim and Joe, great from the beginning, but for the most part, we have a kid, Sachin Natarajan, right now. And he was a football player and a hurdler and a sprinter, and over the course of 4 years, he became just an outstanding middle distance runner. Right now, he's one of the best in the state.
And you mentioned Jim and Joe Rosa, probably one of the best and maybe the best ever here at North, and even in the state. So having superstars like them on the team, how does that benefit the team, and how do you make the team focus on a team effort and not just on the superstars?
There are superstars in their accomplishments, but they're really, as far as their character goes, very humble guys. And I was fortunate as a coach, and their teammates were fortunate that that's not something that really had to be ingrained in them. They were always team first. They took great pride in their teams, their teammates, their relays, and whatnot. So that really, the credit for that goes to them and the character they have.
So I know you had a lot of successful runners, but credit to you as a coach as well. Coaching some people going from, like you said earlier, not too talented to very good runners. I know you've always liked to include quotes or inspiring stories before a practice. What inspired you to do this?
My coach did it with me in high school, and it worked for me. So I've borrowed, recycled, stole, whatever you want to call it. But I do that with my guys and girls, and it's something that you can internalize and use to get through the tough parts of practice or races, without calling timeout and being given some kind of like rah-rah speech.
So any favorites in particular that you like to use?
I tell a story often about how a sword is made, which I think is pretty fitting for the Knights, and the idea behind that is that greatness comes over time, and it comes through being in the heat and the pounding and all the things that take this piece of iron and turn it into a sword. I have a lot. Try not to repeat them too much so that I don't bore the listeners.
I was assuming that one isn't from your previous coach, right?
No, that actually is. It was just the sword factor was actually just a really good coincidence.
Oh, wow. So were you guys Knights in high school?
No, hatters. But I guess there's nothing intimidating about a hat, so you had to find something different.
All right, so Coach Gold, obviously you have a personal life before that, and we'll look more into the personal life coming back on Studio 107 here with Coach Brian Gold from West Windsor Plainsboro High School North.
Photography at North gives students the chance to take an ordinary activity and make it into something special.
Welcome back to Studio 107. I'm Jeffrey Yu here with WWP High School North teacher and coach Brian Gold. So we talked about your coaching experience. Now we want to dig a little deeper into your personal life. We know you mentioned earlier that Coach Bob Ayton, your high school coach at Hatboro Horsham High School, had a big influence on your life and your career. Can you go into depth what experiences he taught you?
he was just a great man. You know, I moved into Hatboro about halfway through my junior year and hadn't run in high school at all. Had done some 7th and 8th grade, and decided I missed it and I wanted to try it again. And there was something about him, is that he's the type of guy where, you know, if I came to practice and he said, we're going to run into the wall today and it's going to make you better, I'd say, okay, you know, how hard and how many times do you want me to do it?
Get your helmet ready.
Right, and if he said no helmet, I'd do it with no helmet. But he just, he was tremendously positive, and he really built us up and believed in all of us. And because of that, we really wanted to give back to him with our best effort. And I still keep in close contact with him now. And he just really, you know, always inspired me to be the best person I can be. And he taught us that, those lessons through cross country and through track.
Now, have you tried to replicate that as a coach yourself?
I think early on I almost copied it identically and learned through experience that, you know, as a coach it's important to be your own person. But I certainly have taken the lessons that he's taught me and the way in which he did it and tried to do the same thing for no other reason than to just try to share with my athletes what he gave to me, because it really was something special.
Now, I know you said, like, in high school you wanted to play baseball, you really wanted to do it, and then what made you go back to track? Did you meet your coach and you were like,
I know, I was just an atrocious baseball player. The only way I ever got on in Little League, I stopped playing in like 6th, 7th grade. The only way I ever got on base was if I got hit with the ball. And then I would get on base and I'd steal second and steal third and steal home. So that probably should have been a bit of a hint to me that maybe running was the way to go. So I had success in it, and success can be addicting, you know. And it's when you're successful at something, it's more fun. And then the relationship I built with him really just made me absolutely fall in love with the sport.
So you've done running now, post high school, post college. What's the craziest running experience you've ever had with a friend?
I had just before my very good friend got married, we had an apartment together and we trained together, and he coaches also. And it was probably a couple days before Christmas, he said he wanted to get a Christmas tree, and I said, we don't need a Christmas tree. And he said, we do need a Christmas tree, and we thought about this for a while, and I said, well, I'm not putting it in a car. They still have needles from last Christmas in the car. So about 2 miles away, there was a lot that sold trees, so we put our winter running gear on and ran up to the lot with, you know, like $20 or whatever, bought the tree, and at that point realized we had to get it home, and just kind of ran with the thing up over our heads 2 miles back, got some strange looks, got some horn honks, and then, you know, sawed it up and brought it in the house.
I know there are milk run challenges. Have you ever considered, you know, creating a tree run challenge?
No, but we used to do a donut run back when I first came here, and I got that from Coach Ayton also, but now that the numbers are up into the 50s, I can't afford the donuts for all the guys. You know?
Well, you can't afford to clean up the mess as well.
Yeah, well, they don't really leave much behind when we do it.
All right, so when you had the tree, any challenge, like, why do you remember it so well? What impact did that have?
You know, there's a lot of track training is monotony, and it doesn't really seem fun, but it's just, you know, there's a lot. It's a lifelong passion. You know, it keeps you healthy, it keeps you fit. But you know, if I wasn't running, that story doesn't exist, and it's just kind of something unique to the personality of the distance runner, and it's just odd. So I guess that's why I remember it. You know?
All right, so some personal stories from Coach Brian Gold. We'll be back here on Studio 107 on WWPH TV.
From a studio in Princeton Junction, hidden in High School South, comes a station run entirely by students. Bring you news, sports, weather, and a whole lot of entertainment. From your hometown, bringing you what you need to know. 107.9 FM, WWPH in Princeton Junction.
Welcome back to Studio 107. We're here with North track and cross country coach Brian Gold. Now we're going to do the blitz right now. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and we'll get some prompt responses. So first question, we're going to start off easy. Best race prep meal?
Best race I ever ran in college, I ate an entire pepperoni stromboli the night before, but I'd recommend like grilled chicken and pasta.
Does it have to be a Philly stromboli?
No, this was in Millersville.
So
it was way out west.
What's the best race for your team?
2008 cross country meet of champions.
How about what's your personal favorite place to run?
It's a place called Tyler Park in Bucks County. It's just miles and miles of trails. It's a really neat place to run.
Lots of trees.
Yeah, it's a state park. I mean, you go back into like the nature trails, and you can be back there for hours.
Have you ever encountered any crazy animals there?
That's mostly deer.
What about your favorite professional athlete?
Whoever's hot in Philly. So this week it's Andre Iguodala. I love Doc Holliday. A bigger fan of the teams than the individuals. So.
And we have to ask you this one: Jim or Joe?
No comment.
All right. Should the high school should they have a rule to how short running shorts can get? Is there a specific guideline?
I don't think so. I mean, you gotta be able to move to run fast.
So, I mean, speaking of like just what you wear when you run, what's your favorite shoe company?
In high school it was Adidas. Nike makes some good stuff now. Air Pegasus is my favorite shoe, but I also am a big believer in getting on the grass with your shoes off and doing some barefoot running. So
now, why barefoot running? Doesn't that don't you get blisters or something?
No, it strengthens your feet. If you think about when you're on the beach and the sand's hot, it teaches you good form and it strengthens the muscles down there.
Do you believe in those shoes where they're basically gloves?
No, I can't. I hate those. The fingers.
What's wrong with those?
Well, I mean, it's $50 for what you're already down there with nothing else.
Yeah, it's a bad fashion statement. Yeah. You gotta look good when you're running, right? What's your favorite place to hang out in West Windsor, Plainsboro?
I live in Pennsylvania, so if I'm in West Windsor, Plainsboro, I'm in this building right here.
It's high school in North. Yeah. I don't know if you ask kids, there might not be many places to see here. What was your dream job as a kid?
I wanted to be on the radio. That's I was really into like sports talk radio. I thought that would be a lot of fun, but
so
here
lots
I am
of Philadelphia
teaching.
sports or
I thought it'd be pretty cool to go to games for free and then sit on the radio and talk about them the next day.
Now, do you watch running on TV or?
It's hard to find, but if I can find it, I follow the world class stuff.
What would you watch instead, or what do you watch instead if you can't find it?
I just discovered The Big Bang Theory. I really like that show. It makes me laugh, but I'll go home and put on a Phillies game or an Eagles game. That don't watch a lot of TV.
And when you watch running, like what's there to look for? Is there like
if you're into the sport, just like anything else, you have the for me at least, you're rooting for the Americans and you want to see records and gold medals and hardware and that kind of thing.
You're looking for strategy as well?
Not really, just kind of enjoying a race, and I've competed with and against some guys that are at that level, so I get to look for some familiar faces too.
All right, so we've covered Coach Gold from high school, from his high school coach to a spontaneous Christmas tree run with one of his buddies. We've covered it all here with WWP North track and cross country coach Brian Gold. Thanks for watching Studio 107, only on WWPH TV.
Oink, 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 oink.